Kate, is she a princess or a duchess? Why doesn't Charles III live in the palace? Do other countries have their own versions of the crown? Today I answer frequently asked questions about royal families and monarchies. Hi, my name is Anna and welcome to On Royals, where I talk everything royal related. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. It will support it greatly. Thank you. In today's episode, I'll be answering some of the frequently asked questions about royals, and I chose few. So I hope you're gonna enjoy it because they're very different topics, and yeah, off we go. Is Kate a princess or a duchess? Well, that's kind of tricky because she is princess, but is she a real princess? A princess is a royal title currently given to daughters of the monarch and granddaughters of the monarch. And those ladies who are born in the royal family are princesses in their own rights. Though if you are married into the royal family, you can get a title of duchess or princess, but this is not a title of its own. It is a title which means wife of a prince. So when Kate and William married, then Queen Elizabeth II gave them title, or gave William title actually, of Duke of Cambridge. And because Kate was his wife, she was known as Duchess of Cambridge, so wife of Duke of Cambridge. It got a bit more complicated in 2022 when William got the title of Prince of Wales. Therefore, his wife is a Princess of Wales, but as I said, she is a wife of a prince. Is Catherine a princess? Yes, she is Princess of Wales, but she's not a princess in her own right. Does it make sense? Is the title Duke of Cambridge hereditary? Yes, it is hereditary, and once William becomes king, his eldest son, so Prince George, will become Duke of Cambridge. Will Charles and Camilla move to Buckingham Palace? This is actually quite funny because Buckingham Palace is perceived as the home of British monarch, but in fact from 2022 a British monarch does not live there full-time or part-time or anyhow. So there is a big renovation going on, which is scheduled to end in 2027, and currently both King and Queen, they live in Clarence House, only a few hundred meters from Buckingham Palace. And I would say that they're waiting until the end of renovation to move to Buckingham Palace. But frankly, I think they will try not to move. This is very comfortable to live in Clarence House, I've heard. And Buckingham Palace will probably stay the official residency of British monarch, where events will be held, and of course there are many offices of the royal court, and I think that may stay like this. I don't think they're gonna move, but let's see. What's the title of Prince Philip? We tend to say that Princess Philip's title was Prince Consort, but this is not technically true. I mean, customary, we say about him that he was a Prince Consort because he was a prince and he was a consort, but he never got a title of Prince Consort as such. The title of Prince Consort was held only by Prince Albert, husband of Queen Victoria. When it comes to Prince Philip, when Queen Elizabeth ascended the throne in 1952, he was just Duke of Edinburgh, so Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. And of course he was a royal consort, but he didn't have any additional title to the Duke of Edinburgh. Then there was a discussion also with Winston Churchill and cabinet about what his title can be. And Queen Elizabeth II decided that his title will not be Prince Consort, will not be Prince of Commonwealth, as was suggested, but it will be Prince of United Kingdom and Northern Ireland. So she gave him the title in 1957. And since then, Prince Philip is known as the Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh. The consort part kind of appeared customary. This is not an official title, but we tend to say about him Prince Consort, as he was a prince and a consort to a monarch. Though other countries also have their own versions of the crown. I love watching such serious historical dramas, and I think even though they're not like 100% accurate, they give you an impression, and then you can just check on Wikipedia or online what was the real deal. So apart from The Crown, which was of course a big global hit, there are some countries that are producing their own versions of The Crown, so royal dramas. There is one about Norwegian royal family. I think this is called A Transatlantic Crossing. It's about the royal family, Norwegian royal family, in the time of Second World War. There is also one about Queen Maxima, so the one from the Netherlands. And this is quite fresh. I think it premiered this year, 2024, but I haven't seen it yet because I don't know how to access it. This is another thing. And in production, there are versions of The Crown in Sweden and Denmark. So all the Nordics, they will have their own The Crown, and also the Netherlands. And I'm actually thinking if there are any other series. There are some movies, especially love stories movies, but not really The Crown. If you know how to where to watch in your country Maxima or the Transatlantic Crossing, let us know in the comments if you know where to watch them. What's happening with Meghan's jam company? So this is actually quite tricky. Do you remember in the spring when it was a big buzz about Meghan's jams? We never heard about the company again, but I think, and I've heard it in Hello Magazine podcast, that there is something cooking for next year. So let us wait and see. Why aren't there pictures of Queen Elizabeth during her pregnancy? It's not true that there aren't any pictures of Queen Elizabeth II during her pregnancy or pregnancies. She got 2 during her reign, but they're not very common. I found a few, but back then, when Queen Elizabeth was pregnant, she took a bit of rest. She worked a bit more at home, less social engagements. That's one thing. And the second thing is that during that time, so in the early 60s, pregnancy was somehow intimate and personal matter. So it was completely not like today when you have paparazzi following a celebrity if someone is pregnant and, doing some pictures from the bushes or anything like this. It wasn't the case back then. Media had a lot of respect to the royal family. Media landscape was completely different. So probably even if someone took a photo of Queen Elizabeth in her private time with a belly, it was not published. But there are a few pictures of Queen Elizabeth during her pregnancy. What's the most important royal event in the recent years? I'm not gonna surprise you that much because it is, of course, the change of the monarch in the United Kingdom. This is a big thing. This was played, let's say, in several acts. Of course, Queen Elizabeth died, and then we had the coronation. Both were huge international events. I would say that the change of the Danish throne wasn't as a big thing. And of course, it was a bit less dramatic because Queen Markle just abdicated and did not die. But if I would, for example, say what was the biggest thing in the royal world 10 years ago, I wouldn't say it was the wedding of Kate and William or Victoria in Sweden. I would say it was the series of abdications. So Belgium, the Netherlands, Spain, it was a pretty big thing and it was a big change in the royal landscape. But this time, this decade, if you may say, was definitely the change on the British throne. Could Edward VIII not abdicate? Could he be with Wallis and be a king? I would say he had to abdicate or not be with Wallis. There are 2 main reasons. you have to remember that it was the 30s in the UK, almost 100 years ago. Both the political landscape and social landscape was a bit different. When it comes to the social landscape, Wallis was twice divorced, and Edward was the head of Church of England. And Church of England did not appreciate divorces. Actually, even in the 50s, for example, on the royal court, there was no divorcees. It was really unthinkable for a divorcee to work even in the royal court, let alone be a part of the royal family. Of course, it's changed. Back then, in the 30s, it was not possible for divorcees to be in the royal family. And he was the head of the Church of England. So he couldn't just say, oh my God, I'm just going to marry the divorcee. No way. So this is one aspect. The other aspect, it could make Britain a bit unstable. And it was end of 1936 in Europe. Super unstable times, super difficult times. And if he would not abdicate and the unstable situation will go on and on and on, the country would be unstable. And ultimately, we don't know what could happen. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. If you have another burning questions about royal families or monarchies, please leave them down below in the comments and I'll try to answer maybe in another episode. Yeah. Thank you and see you next time. Bye bye.